Wow, we're going to start recording here.
What did I do?
1, 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pardon Me, Brother. This is kind of a redo, right, Jim?
Yes.
This is actually episode 5, part 1.
Yes.
And somebody recorded over.
Me? Then I guess I should say pardon me, brother.
Pardon me, brother. No, we have technical difficulties, so that's on me, not on Jim. That's on me. But we had a great podcast on episode 5, actually talking to Abbi, and we had 2 parts to it. And when we recorded part 2, it recorded over and eliminated part 1.
Yes.
And that created an issue, so we are back again.
It was a really good part 1 too.
Yeah.
Well, part 2 was good too, but I mean it was a good podcast. But we'll do the redo here. We'll get it.
We're going to do a redo, and we have all the same questions and all the same things that we can talk about. So I don't think it'll be too difficult to reenact or get us back to where we need to be. But obviously there's something wrong with me.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, there's something wrong with me because I messed that up. But we're going to start over. And we're going to start over right now with our introductions of our guests for episode 5. There we go. I still like this theme music.
Yes.
I still dig that. It gets me geeked up. Pardon me, brother. Episode 5, the Foo Fighters. Gotta throw that in there for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I gotta pee. I gotta pee. There's our queen. Episode 5, we are welcoming back Abbi for her 3rd run, but this is really just going back to the first run, right?
Yes.
So we're going to ask her some questions here. She's going to annoy everyone with extracurricular sound bites.
Extracurricular.
Kind of gross. But okay, we're going to work with that anyway. So first of all, let's go back to Abbi Cam, as we call it. And Abbi, welcome back.
Hello.
For the second time or the first time?
First time.
I don't know what I'm saying. But we're glad to have you here.
Welcome back to the first time.
That's actually accurate. That's actually accurate. So glad to have you here, honey. We love you. We're happy to have you here. We're going to go through some basic questions and some stuff today. And one of the things that I think I'm going to start off a little bit differently, actually, than we did before, but I know that you've listened to or seen some of our podcasts that we did. Like, we did the interview with Sam. We did the interview with Larry and Nathan, right? We did those. And then Uncle Jimmy and I had some kind of like one-on-one sessions where we were just talking about old cars and things that we did in our past and stuff like that. So what do you think of the podcast so far, and what is some of your favorite things that you've heard?
I think the podcast is interesting because like no one else in our family has like really done it. And like I think it's
That's right.
I think it's neat how like you guys can come together and like be brothers and like do your thing, because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have that luxury.
Right. Well, I don't think they take advantage of it,
Yeah, and I've seen some of the podcasts. I think the one about like with Sam was really neat because like you could hear her intake on stuff.
Sure.
And then like the little bit about like the generations one. Have you guys done that? Yeah, like that one's cool too.
That was a good episode. That was actually kind of difficult for Jim and I. Put Jim on camera. A little difficult because it was kind of more about the challenge was to talk about the generational differences, but not like come down on them and say,
Right.
"Oh, ours is better" or "Yours is better" or
Right.
any of that kind of stuff. So it was a little difficult with that, but we did pretty good. Well, good. I'm glad, Abbi, that you like those podcasts so far, and obviously we're going to continue to do this because we're just having a good time doing it. At least I am.
Getting a kick out of hearing some things that you haven't heard before about your dad.
Dun, dun, dun,
Uncle.
dun.
Yeah, but I'm not really surprised.
What? What does that mean?
I'm sure there's stories you could tell that we haven't even podcasted about yet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Jim, what's another
In
another
due time.
question we got for this young lady?
Another question. You just had your 16th birthday,
Yeah.
right? How'd that go? What'd you do?
I went roller skating with my friends, but I don't know how to roller skate, so it was interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
heard you got the place to yourself.
Yeah, because the
roller
other
skating.
party was scheduled for like for other people, but then they canceled last minute, so the whole thing was
Just your
empty.
group.
Yeah, it was
That's
just me and
cool.
my friends,
That's
and then
cool.
obviously him.
That would be neat. What does turning 16 mean to you?
Ooh, good
Probably
question.
like more freedom and more responsibility
Right.
because
With great power comes great responsibility.
I get more freedom like driving and stuff, but that also comes with a responsibility.
Absolutely.
So, but I think it's neat. It's just growing up and like when I was a kid, I was like so excited to grow up because both of my siblings were older and stuff, and I saw the opportunities that they had.
Right.
Like with Sam with driving, I was like, oh, I can't wait to drive and stuff.
Right.
And there's like good stuff that comes up with growing up, but there's more responsibility, and that's not something I really thought about until now. So I'm like, oh, this is great.
Nobody does.
Yeah, I'm like, now I wish I was a kid. I'm literally still a kid. I wish I was a kid still, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can relate a little bit to that because as Abby's the baby of her, group in the family, and I was the baby of mine, so we have a lot of similarities and a lot of things that happen with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And I also do remember, Cindy getting her license in her car and Jimmy getting his license in his car, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, but like you said, there's a lot of responsibility. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges of a teenager learning how to drive when it comes to that responsibility?
Probably one big thing would be time management. I feel
Okay.
like because like if you're driving to school or something, and if you have to be there by 8, you'll be like, oh, I can leave the house by 7:45, and I can get there no time. Like it just like you gotta like make sure like on the roads like how long that's gonna take, and you don't want to crash into somebody, so you gotta be really careful and like look out for people.
So kind of plan ahead.
Yeah, and just take your time with it basically.
Well, that's awesome. That's good. I'm glad that you're starting to think that way because you have to.
Yeah.
If you get, bad weather or situational driving
Yeah.
where, you have to kind of try to rush down the road, you can only go as fast as the traffic in front of you.
Yeah,
can't-
and you have
can't
to
make
be
it go.
prepared too. Like with stuff, like if you bring stuff in your car, like you need to be prepared for like certain weather and certain things you might need for those occasions.
Yes.
Well, you've been doing some driving with Mom in the car. So, and what kind of car is Mom driving?
She drives a Wagoneer.
Drives a Wagoneer, and I have my truck, right? Mm-hmm. And you've been driving those two cars, and then what kind of car are you going to be driving on a
An
regular
Equinox,
basis?
2007.
Chevrolet Equinox, okay. Tell me some of the differences between the truck and the Wagoneer that you've noticed is driving.
The Wagoneer is a lot more sensitive. Like if you barely like turn the wheel, like the whole car will move. Like it's really sensitive, and it takes. I think it took me a little longer to adjust to the Equinox than it did the truck, because like if you think about like driving a truck, it's like, oh my gosh, this car is huge. But when you're in the Wagoneer, it's like, wow, this car is bigger. And I didn't even realize that the car was bigger, because a truck, when you think of a truck, you think like of a Ram, like your car. But like with the Equinox, it just seemed, or not the Equinox, with the Wagoneer, it's like way bigger. And not like, because Mom was asking me, like, do you think this car is heavier, like in weight or whatever? And I'm like, no, I honestly think the truck feels heavier. Because the Wagoneer, like, it's big, but it feels kind of light to me, at least.
It's a different ride.
And maybe it's because I did the truck before the Wagoneer, so maybe it would be different. But like, it's just different to ride in. And I don't, as a first driving, I don't know if I'd want a big car for my first one, because it's a lot to deal with, and it's a lot more to think about when you drive a big car than a little one.
Sure.
But I like the Equinox. It's a really nice car because it's not too sensitive, and it's easy to maneuver, and it's nice. I like that car.
It's a nice first car. It really
Yeah.
is.
Jim, what was your first car?
79 Oldsmobile Starfire.
Oh, that's not nice.
So not nice.
What?
That's not nice.
What I do?
What did I do?
What do you do?
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong?
Hold on, let me do it first.
What the hell is wrong with you?
There we go. Now I can hear Hulk. All right. Sorry about that, Jim. My fingers slipped.
Sure it did.
What's another great question for this young lady?
How about her recent achievement in her soccer career? And at Notre
That's
Dame?
a good idea. Why don't you tell the story of what you went through to get on the Notre Dame soccer team? Let's go with that.
Okay, well, when I was younger, like I played soccer, like kindergarten, first grade, basically, and then I quit because I wanted to dance. So I did that for a while, and I was in like company and stuff. And then in like 8th grade, I just like was like, well, all my friends are doing soccer. I'm like, that would be really fun if I did that too. So then over like the fall, I went on this like small team at Pacesetter, and I couldn't partake in it because they were like a year younger than me, and I was in high school, so I couldn't play in any of their games. So I just like trained with them for a little bit, and then after that, I got on the 08 Pacesetter team, which was something. And it was an experience. Like I didn't like the team at all, but like I needed it in order to get onto Notre Dame, because when I did Notre Dame, he was like, "Hey, you need more experience. Like you need to, like he's like you have the right mindset. Like you just need more experience for it." So I had to go into Pacesetter and get more experience to get on the team.
Do you think that by doing the pace setter, I know that there were some personality conflicts and stuff like that with some of the girls that was on there, but I remember having the conversation with you, like, let's take out of this what you need. Let's take the game experience, the game play, right? Because you didn't have that, you lacked that.
Yeah.
The mechanics for, the one touch, the soft touch, all that kind of stuff, the passing, the receiving. The ability when the ball comes that you can kind of angle it and keep going instead of just stopping the ball and then kicking. Just let the ball kind of travel, but you go with it. So I think you gained a lot from that, and that showed because when you went back the beginning of your sophomore year, you went through again. I remember we talked about this a little bit before, but your practices, when does soccer for Notre Dame really start? When does that start?
August. Like with the season, and
No.
like
when the Notre Dame season starts, and you're going to start not games,
like practicing, like
anything with the team.
probably like June.
How about February? What are you doing right now?
Oh, well, we're doing workouts.
Okay, but that's still
But,
team involvement.
but it's off season. We're not actually starting to do soccer.
No, I get that, but I guess my point is that your sophomore and your freshman year, okay, when this was going on, you had to start practicing weightlifting.
Oh yeah, in February.
Doing physical fitness exercises, running, all this stuff with the team. So you had that camaraderie with the girls, right? Mm-hmm. And you were doing that stuff with them. But that's really kind of when it started, because that was the first time that the coaches had exposure to who Abbi was.
Right.
So when you did that your freshman year, you didn't make the team. Everybody was crushed. You were crushed. I was crushed. You had personal trainers. You had personal coaches that we hired on the side to help you. And we still couldn't quite get over that hump. So when you did the pace setter, you got that experience. Then when your sophomore year came back, you started doing the weightlifting again with them, the mechanics with them again, and immediately you caught the coach's eyes because you were different.
Yeah.
You weren't the Abbi from a year ago, and they knew that, right? So then what did the coach tell you, or what did he bring up at that one practice that I always like to talk about, that one practice that he was used you as the example of what he's looking for that year
that was
team?
at tryouts.
Right.
I was kind of nervous because, like, obviously from last year, so I was kind of like, I was just like kind of panicking a little bit.
Well, sure.
And he like had all of us sit down for tryouts before, because he was gonna tell us like what we were gonna do basically for tryouts. And he was like, well, he kind of gave this speech like, hey, I know everybody's nervous, like just do what you can, like. And he said like some things that you need to think about so we can look for it. And he said something how like being coachable, and he's like, just take Abbi for example, like she's very coachable. She can, like, if I tell her to do something, I know she'll do it, or she'll try to do it as the best she can, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something really similar.
It was pretty much to that effect.
And I was
He
like,
let everybody there know. He let them all know.
Yeah, I was in shock because there's like, there's people I'm not varsity level, and
Right.
there's like these people, like there's this one girl on the team that has been on the news, like she's that good.
Okay.
But out of all those people that were sitting there trying out, he picked me as an example.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like I was like in shock. And I think that kind of helped me boost my confidence for the tryouts even more. And I was like, oh, well, coach thinks I'm like this. I'm going to act like this. Like, I'm going to do this.
Well, I think it also let you know what the coaches were thinking about you. So that gave
Yeah.
you a little bit of an insight of what he was thinking. And I think that made you think, I think it really gave you the idea of like, oh man, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's push this a little harder. Let me really make sure. And then what happened when he had to sit down with you and you had to sit down and they actually were going over whether you made the team or not?
Basically, he was saying, like, how he sat down and he's like, do you remember the last time we did this? He said, like, if you come back and try out, that you'll make the team. And I said, yeah, I didn't remember that because I was kind of crushed about what he said, and I didn't really remember that. But I was just like, sure, sure, I remember. And he was like, well, you're here, and you made it. So he's like, well, you're on, he's like, or he said something like, you're on JV. Is that okay? Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Because they always ask you, like, is that okay? Like, do you want to be on JV? Like, and if you say no, then obviously, like, either they, like, you don't go on the team or, like, they will schedule something, like, for you to do something
Sure.
to try and make it to pool or something or do varsity. But he was like, is that okay? And I was like, oh, I'm ready. Like, come on.
We were all very excited and very proud of you because you went
Absolutely.
through pretty much 2 full seasons, Jim. I mean, pretty much 2 full seasons of these practices and tryouts and games. And she did the practices and stuff with club
Yeah.
at Pacesetter and also with Notre Dame. And then you finally got that letter.
Yeah.
And you gripped that thing with a death grip when you
Yeah,
came out of
that
the car.
had
with it.
sweat
Remember that?
stains on it when I was in the car.
You're like,
I know.
Because was it the second part on the podcast when we were talking about friends and stuff?
the show.
Well, you know how like Joey when he like kind of makes like that scene where he's like, "Are you just doing that thing where we think
Right.
you don't know?" That's what I did. I got in the car and I was acting really upset, and I actually thought that you guys like believed me. Like I know Mom for a second doubted me,
Yeah.
and then Dad
That's
was
right.
like, "Did you make it?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my God! Let me take over for a second.
Okay.
Jim, I gotta tell you about this. I don't think I ever told you this. Deb and I are in the car, right, and we're waiting for Abby. All the girls are coming from practice. We're watching them make this long walk around this gated fence area, right, and you can see the girls, and you can see their faces and stuff. And we're just kind of guessing, like, okay, she made it. She's got an envelope. They would give them an envelope, like this white envelope with the paper in it, and all the girls that made the team had the envelope.
Okay.
So we were watching. We go, oh, she made the team. She made the team. Or she's like, oh, okay. Oh, she doesn't have an envelope. Oh, look at her. She's been crying. Oh, she didn't make the team. Oh no,
Yeah.
So then Abby comes around the corner. We're watching real closely, right? And we're looking, and I hear Deb go. Deb looks at me. She goes, shit. And I go, what? She goes, I don't see an envelope. Does she have an envelope? Does she have an envelope? So what did you do with the envelope?
I put it in my bag. I
You're hiding
purposely
it.
put it in my bag so they wouldn't know I had an envelope.
So
That's
she
fun.
got in the car, and I was like sweating because I'm like, I knew what a empowering
Right.
and wonderful thing is, like, if she can go and if she really puts her effort in. I mean, I would have been shocked if she didn't
Right.
make the team, especially her sophomore year.
Yeah.
I was really surprised she didn't make it her freshman year. But when she didn't make it her sophomore, if she wouldn't have made it her sophomore year, I'd be like, man, I hate to push her and make her do all this stuff and put these ideas in her head and then have her come short.
Right.
Because that can be, I mean, really hurtful on kids, And when she came out of there and she had it, I mean, I teared up on the drive home and I made sure she couldn't see me, but I'm driving kind of like this, wiping some tears and stuff. I mean, it was really impactful to me. I was very, very proud of her.
Well, I know when you texted me that she made the Notre Dame team, I remembered the conversation from before that she didn't make the team, and all the reasons she had to go to Pacesetter and all that. I knew all that, and I was really, really excited. I was like, "That's so cool."
That
She
was
did it.
awesome.
Yeah,
It was very awesome.
yeah, that was really awesome.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
You put a lot of effort in. You didn't give up. And are you okay if I tell Uncle Jimmy the story of when we decided to do Pacesetter? You want to tell that story?
Yeah, you
Want-
can.
wanna
Yeah,
do
you
it?
can do that. It's okay.
Oh, God, okay. I got to set this thing up. All right. We just left Notre Dame for her actual tryouts freshman year.
Okay.
No white envelope. She didn't make the team. She's in the car. She's crying, then not, crying, then not. She was going through this emotional roller coaster, right, doing this whole thing, right? So we get home. She almost makes like the walk of shame up to her bedroom. She plops down on the floor, hasn't even taken off any of her soccer gear, really, except her soccer shoes. And she sits there, and she's upset. And I'm downstairs doing something down here, and I can hear her crying. And I went, that. I'm going up there with her, right? That's my girl. And I know she tried, and I know she came short, but I'm going to go up there. So I go walking by Deb. I kind of give her the nod, like, let's go. So we go up to the room, and I sit down with Abby on the floor, and we're just having, I'm just holding her and just saying, hey, look, I know you tried. You know, you did good. You can't be upset with yourself that you put that effort in, that you did that. You know,
Right.
Not everybody's going to make the team. It just doesn't, life doesn't work that way.
Right.
And I said, so you got a couple choices here. And she's like, okay, well, what do you mean? You know? And I said, well, we can stop now, go back to dance, do something else. I said, or we can go to Pace Setter, right? And go to Pace Setter. We can get you your experience. We can work on your mechanics. You're going to end up losing a few pounds, and it's going to make you faster. So you're going to be more competitive. We can do all these things. And I said, so in a matter of speaking, we can give up. We can go kick their ass. What do you want to do? So Abby's sitting there, kind of looks at me, right? Looks down, kind of looks back up, and then she wipes her tears, you know?
Yeah.
And then she looks at me and she goes, Dan, let's go kick their ass. That's exactly what she said.
That's awesome.
Didn't you? Yeah. So, oh, thanks. She got a little screen going on here.
That's cool.
Apparently she's vulnerable.
You're vulnerable.
She's got a vulnerable drive. Oops. But that was fun. That was pretty cool.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool.
That's cool.
So what else we got for her? I think we got, want to talk about college?
Yeah, we can do that.
Abby, I think next year, your junior year, they're going to start doing more and more and more pushing about, let's start talking colleges. Let's start filling out forms. Let's start doing, right? Because what are you getting in the mail almost weekly now?
College applications.
Or introductory letters
Yeah.
like, hey, don't forget us, and why don't you
Yeah.
apply here? And we
Dude,
can
I
get
have like a whole
stack.
drawer full of them.
Yeah. So let me ask you, I mean, do you have an idea of what you want to do for a job in your
Yeah.
career?
Yeah, I want to be an ultrasound tech.
An ultrasound tech.
What is that?
What is that? Yeah, what is that?
It's like recordings of different, like, not body parts, but like different areas in your body. That it depends on what scan you're getting. So like there's different kinds of ones. So like obviously there's the most common, which is like a baby, and seeing like
Okay.
the baby and like how it's there.
Developing.
Yeah. There's echo tech, which is for your heart.
Okay.
And I don't know the other ones, but
Okay. Why did you come up with that, or where did you pique the interest?
well,
That's
when
I'm
I
curious.
was younger, I have like multiple jobs in mind, which is like kind of like they're like all over the place. Like when I was younger, and to this day, I've always wanted to be an interior decorator. Like I always think that's fun,
I remember that.
and I honestly still would want to be that. But with doing research on it, that job requires a lot of socializing and a lot of like opinions and creativity. So it's kind of, you have to be really well known in order to like really get some money. And if somebody doesn't like your work, they're not going to pay you, is basically that. And it's not based on, oh, I'm here, let's do the job, I can get money. It's, oh, if you don't like this, I don't get paid and I can't pay my bills. So like it depends on what they like, and that's hard to do because everyone's different and you don't know who like what. So that's kind of like a tricky business to do.
Didn't you want Abby to redo your garage, Jim? Wasn't that something you talked about?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I can, but like, and then I looked into being like something in law because I've always found like history kind of interesting and stuff like that.
We lost you.
Oh,
We lost you. Keep going, Abby.
I've always wanted to be like something in law, and I didn't really know what because I didn't really look into it that much. But I thought I didn't want to be a lawyer, but I wanted to be like something in that area because I think that it makes good money,
Sure.
right? And then I got diagnosed with low iron for low iron, obviously.
Right.
So we went to the doctors, and they said that I needed an echo scan, which is for my heart to see if that's okay. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, is this going to hurt, Mom? Like, I was scared because I didn't know what it was. And then they took me into this room, and I had to lay down, and she put, like, these stickers all over me and stuff.
Sure.
And I was in this dark room, and then we could, like, watch a movie because this is, like, based in, like, a kid's environment.
Okay.
So they had all these kids' movies, so I had to watch one of the movies, and I could see, like, her screen, and you could see, like, the different, it's like a 3D picture, and you could see, like, different areas of, like, my heart, and, like, I thought it was really cool to see that.
All from the technician doing that.
Yeah, and it's, like,
Okay.
it's, like, based off a device, and I just think that's so cool how, like, you can just see that. Oh, he's calling again.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. We're having some video technical difficulties right now. Lost Jimmy's camera.
You can still hear me, so
So-
that's all right. I'm just.
Now you're always able to be heard.
Brina doesn't put the camera on me very much
Yeah.
anyway. So it's okay.
You can always hear
We have a
Jimmy.
guest. It's all about the guests, so that's fine.
That's
No
true.
big deal.
Well, Abby, let me ask you, if you wanted to be an ultrasound tech in one form or another, where do you want to go to school to do this? Have you kind of thought about that?
Well, I've thought about it, and right now I haven't really, like, decided. I've had some colleges in mind for a while, like
Okay.
Ohio State or something like that. Just like a good, like, range of areas. But I don't necessarily want to be like, oh, I want to go to I don't want to go to Harvard right now for the rest of my life. Like, I haven't picked that. But, like, I just want to pick a college based off of my career. So if Harvard's
Right.
the best college to
Right.
be an ultrasound tech, I better get my grades up.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think when we had our conversation before about that, we kind of came to the conclusion, which I still think is the right way to go about it, is like, okay, we're going to kind of pick a career, and then we're going to plug a school into that career.
Yeah.
Because some schools are going to be known, right, for, like if you did law, well, Harvard Law School or this other law school, right? But if you decided, let's just pick on interior decorating. If you want to be an interior decorator, but they had these great courses at Bowling Green,
yeah,
well, then guess where you're going to go?
right.
Right.
Because you're paying for college to go to school to learn about your career.
Right.
So might
Yes.
as well go to a college based off that career.
Yes.
Correct. And Jimmy's camera is, let me just show you. Yeah, there's Jimmy. Jimmy
Please
looked
wait.
great.
Thank you. I've been out in the sun a lot.
You just need a black stripe, it would confuse you with the Daytona, you know? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, Abby, that's awesome. Anything else that we can cover here while we're
I
talking?
didn't say anything about our gear that we talked about the first time we did the first.
Well, what was
gear
that?
that we're wearing?
What gear? Oh,
Oh,
your
the gear.
merch.
Of course,
Our merch. Well, we've got, well,
You can look at Grant's. You
the
can't.
hat. We've got we got the shirt, right? And then this is a great gift for my bro, for pardon me, brother. These nice. What do you call these again?
Tumblers.
Tumblers. I always get that wrong. And then Abby has. Here she comes. Look at this. Pow. See, I bought the cheap ones. I got the cheap ones. They're kind of
Yeah, look at them. They're
Yeah, but you got
flimsy
more.
and
You got a lot
squeezy.
more.
But they were good though, you know. And Jim goes, no, we need these expensive ass tumblers.
I did not say that.
That's what we're gonna do.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Ngang, ngang, ngang.
Ew.
What?
Don't do that.
Ngang, ngang, ngang.
I don't know who that
That'd be that. And look, Jimmy's back. He's back in his meadow.
Would you please?
Jimmy likes to do a lot of things during these podcasts.
is.
so-
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, he's a little out there, but
A little out there.
we still love him. All right, looking at my little list here, looks like we kind of covered, I think, everything that we did in the first run. And it's about the same amount of time. We got about 30 minutes in. So I think we're pretty good here. We're going to fix these technical difficulties, and we'll come back here in a little bit.
Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo. Abby, thank you very much for coming on board with us, and it's always a lot of fun to talk to
For
you.
the third time.
For the third time, but right, the
For
first
the
time.
first time.
It's the first time. Hey, that's something else you can do. Do you want to sing something for us?
No,
Okay.
unless you want to hear a song that I like.
Okay. Well, what song do you like? You can take us home. What's the song that you like?
Nicki Minaj.
Well, on that note, thanks, Abby, for coming by. Love ya.
It's not fair.
I know. God love you.